It's such a good fuzzy feeling meeting reliable people persons such as yourselves. Yes, sirree.
You're very
My
welcome.
God.
Just remember, it was the Gullwings that helped you out.
Amazing. So that is the perfect way of completing that mission. What I just showed you guys will give you 100% completion and episode complete. Everything perfect. So we can talk to these guys now.
Busy, busy, busy. Starting now, that is. Do wish me luck. Busy, busy, busy. Starting...
You're not going to tell us. Okay. This guy over here says, I will stay up here and work. This dude says, I can start working now. And is it time to work? So yeah, this is this. If we never came here at all, who knows what would have happened to the car if we hadn't spoken to Tobley. I will show you guys now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap to another save file. I'm going to swap to... Actually, let's have a quick look at that garment grid we got just before we do that. So we're going to... So what do we get? We got Helios Guard, right? It has only one gate. Its passives are when you get on yellow health, it gives you Protect. When you equip it, another passive is it allows you to cast the white magic spell Protect, also really strong. And if you take the time to go through that one gate in the middle, then you get auto Protect. You get Protect at all times. That's really cool. The interesting thing about a grid like this is, okay, you've got 3 classes in theory you might want to use. Well, so what dress spheres do you put on there, right? Like, so who doesn't get through that gate easily? You could put Warrior here. And now what? Well, we can't put Warrior on the right as well just yet. I'll demonstrate that kind of idea to you later. Well, maybe we put Gunmage there, because that's our new class, right? So it's there. If we come out to our dress spheres now, you'll find Gunmage has now appeared up there next to Gunner. So you can see that how these things are kind of segmented off. Like you've got Black Mage, White Mage, and Songstress. 3 casters are all together. The 2 like pistol professions here are together. Warriors here, and then there's a lot of other like big physical attacking classes that are there. Festivalist, a special one from the international content, is in the middle. Another special one, Full Throttle, we got from Chommel, is in the middle. You know, it kind of makes sense. We've got Thief here, and there'll be other ones like Alchemist is a class. So I'll give you guys that as a hint. That will appear up there on the top left. It's pretty cool. Anyway, we'll talk about Gunmage and the kind of stuff it can do later. For now, what I'm going to do is show you guys what happens here if you don't talk to Tobley first, because I want to get that awesome reward. So, I'm going to swap to my New Game Plus file, and I'll talk to you guys just for a little bit about how New Game Plus works. Alright, we're back. So, hello everyone. We're now on a different save file, okay? So, if I come over to the save sphere here, you'll notice I'm on a completely different profile from my PS2. I'm over on Iron Socks now, which you saw on the previous LP instead of Wooden Potatoes. But here you'll actually see that I have 3 save files, okay? The one at the very bottom, this one down here, that's save data 2, that is the end of the game. That's the very last save file I made when I went through and completed X-2 before recording this Let's Play with you guys. When you finish a game of FF10-2, it allows you to save after the credits roll, which is what you're seeing here, okay? The save data 1. And you'll see it says location, New Game Plus. This I've explained to you a couple of times before, but basically what it lets you do is replay through the entire game while retaining the items, garment grids, classes, abilities, and percent completion you had from a previous playthrough. So this is our current save file. This is me on the airship right now. We're in Chapter 1, okay? This is a New Game Plus. We're on the Celsius Bridge, but you'll see there my playtime is almost 50 hours. And that's because that's including the playtime I had from my previous run through the game. You'll also notice that instead of it saying us being like 10% complete, we're 59% complete. And that's because last time I played through the game, I did all of these alternate story branches and stuff that are still now in this save file. So what this lets me do, the long and short of it, is now when I go to the Moonflow, I can actually choose to not talk to Tobley first, and we'll get that accessory, but I'll still be able to get 100% because this is a New Game Plus, you see? So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to go back to the Moonflow. I won't show the whole mission, obviously. I'll just show off the cutscenes. But one thing you can do to make this kind of easier is instead of loading into the Moonflow itself, you know, by clicking here as we did before, see it says Mission Guard the Hypello. We haven't done it yet. Instead, we could go to Djose Temple, which is a nearby place. But if you think of where the Hypello was stood with the cart, we can go to Djose first and then, you know, just reach the cart instantly without ever seeing Tobley or talking to him. And this will get us that new cool item. The other long and short of it is by going to Djose first, we get to hear about Djose and what's been going on in 2 years. So it says no missions. It says those Machina Crazy Albed Machine faction guys are hiring helpers. Could be good gil for the Gullwings. Well, we do need gil, right? In theory. See, this New Game Plus save file has all of the gil, the gold I earned on the previous playthrough. So I've got like 300,000 gil right now. I could, in theory, just pay off Awaka's debt straight away. Ultimately, it will be this save file I end up getting 100% complete on. And the save file you've seen me playing up until now is where I'm going to do all the branches where you see the world descend into chaos.
After we defeated Sin, people began to distance themselves from the temples. For a long time, Djose Temple was neglected as well. But now...
It's kind of like that kid said, where he was like, I'm not scared of the temple. Well, if you remember, Djose was always like an electric kind of place. It would make sense that Al Beds, interested in electricity machines, would set up here.
Everyone's staring.
You're famous, Uni. Better get used to it.
All I want's some peace and quiet.
Poor thing. She's led such a sheltered life.
Maybe she's getting old.
Who's getting old?
You know, it's funny, I think Payne's right there. I don't really like this scene that much.
That's Gipple, leader of the machine faction. He can be kind of annoying, but he's all right.
Okay, let's do some interviews. Bring it!
Yeah, he seems all right.
Oh, he's a ladies' man. He's a toy boy. But yeah, like, I think Payne's right there. Even in the last game, before Yuna defeated Sin, she was famous, remember? And she kind of got used to it, sort of, back then, I guess. Anyway, yeah, that's Gipple. You remember when I was saying Barreleye has a really cool voice actor? Well, in real life, Barreleye's voice actor, his younger brother, voice acts Gipple. So that's kind of the deal there. Here, as we're waiting around, we want to sign up to the machine faction. Do we want to go in there? Let's first try this out. This guy says, what? You want to make some money digging? You got to go register first. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to register to join this faction, the machine faction. This old man says, I know that Machina are into the teachings, but machines are alright, aren't they? I guess so. I mean, people are becoming more open to them now. This dude says, you can earn gil by digging up ancient Machina or other treasures. And generally, as we wait around here, as we talk to people, the line will go down. If you want to register straight away, you can't cut in line. So you can just sort of occupy yourself by talking to people. I believe there is a chest somewhere in this area. This lovely dude says, the temple was empty and starting to fall apart. That's why we decided to move in. Machina research in the Temple of Yevon. Times really are changing. I'm sure they are. That guy leaves. I guess if you're quick, you can come to all of these people in the line and talk to them before they go in. He says, finally, it's my turn. I'm tired of waiting. So we've missed some dialogue there, guys. You'll never see in the LP. We're swamped with applicants at the moment. Please wait your turn. Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure there is a chest here somewhere. This lady says, the Albed who reside here call themselves the Machine Faction. A machine? It's just Machina. This is really cool because, yeah, we've always known it as Machina in Final Fantasy. It's weird, and now they're calling them actual machines. And they literally do establish here they're just the same, a term for the same thing. He says, I keep telling myself these are machines, not Machina. It's funny because it's like Yevon invented the term Machina to put people off of the idea of using machines, and now we're doing the reverse. We're like, yeah, we'll get rid of the negative connotations of Machina by just calling them machines instead. It's pretty good. I like to imagine that back during the Bevels-Anakin conflict, they were all just machines. Alright, so we come in. That guy who was in line, you can actually come talk to over here. And he says, I think he's having problems with his application. He says, will this guy ever shut up? Now he's threatening not to let me dig. I'm going to dig like there's no tomorrow, and no one's going to stop me, see? Nobody's going to stop me, see? Yeah, okay. And then this guy's very Nixon-y. Whenever I see that like C written with a question mark at the end, all I'm asking is that he changes his clothes. It's hot in the desert, but he's too stubborn to listen to a word I'm saying. Amateurs. It's true, you would pretty much melt in the desert. So that's where these machine faction are actually digging. They're based here at Djose, but they're digging in Bikanel Desert, where the Albed home was in the previous game. So this guy says, what do you want? And we'll say, oh, goddamn, I want to dig. There's kind of something funny we can do here. If you talk to him behind the counter, he actually says, you know, there's a reason we have a counter. It's kind of, I noticed that on my test file. I love it when games and stuff do that. But yeah, so I want to dig. You can say, what's the digging for? He says, you'll be digging for research and building materials in the Bikanel Desert. Actually, I imagine him to be a lot less enthusiastic than this, because he's just gone through a very long line. Those materials are then used by the machine faction. That's us to forward our research. You need to go through the hiring process before you can dig. Your wages are paid on site. If you find something of value, your wages will go up. You can also keep any items we don't need for research purposes. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so I want to dig. All right, go on in the temple. Gipple will interview you. Just one in a long line. So sweet, we've registered. I like how they do this whole like application process. It's like we are actually going for a job here. I mean, our original goal was just to come here to hit the Moonflow, but fine, we'll do 2 birds with 1 stone. You're gonna let us in now? He says, looks like you've been registered. Follow the instructions you receive inside. Oh, I would love to. So in we go. How much have they changed the temple, I wonder? I'll say one thing, this game's really good for like just showing Machina moving around in the real world. I really enjoy it. There's a whole like war scene later, I guess. That's not really very spoilery. But you get to see so much Machina involvement.
People. Oh, how have we killed the Guardian? Gibble! Huh?
Hello.
You, here for an interview?
Uh-huh.
Something like that.
The Great High Summoner wants an interview?
Former summoner.
God. Some of these scenes.
Alright, follow me.
Alright, so if we leave now, we can go get another interview. We score a key item, the Albed Primer 5 here. You'll notice, actually, we understood a fair amount of Albed there. Why is that, you might be wondering? Well, let's go have a look at items. Remember, we're on New Game Plus. So I've actually already completed the game. Not all of your regular items will carry over, okay? So like potions, high potions, phoenix sounds, that kind of stuff will. Key items in general do not carry over. There's some that do, and I'll talk about them when we get them. But most of your key items are just completely reset once you start a New Game Plus. However, Albed Primers are not. So we actually get the added benefit by playing on this file of being able to understand the Albed a lot sooner than we otherwise would. And now we continue getting more and more primers, so we'll actually be pretty fluent in it rather soon. Now, doing the LP like this isn't maybe a great example of what it'd be like to play it for yourself, but I do think it's better because we just get that added information, you know. There's so much Albed in this game. But yeah, so just the key items, the Albed Primers, crossover, and a few others which I deliberately didn't get on my previous files, so there'd be like no spoilers. I'll talk about some other New Game Plus stuff here as well. Check out our abilities. So I told you guys in a previous episode, maybe it was this episode, I don't know. That when I played the game to create this New Game Plus file, I didn't use any other classes. I literally just used Gunner, Thief, and Warrior, the default ones that Pain, Riku, and Yuna had, with some very minor exceptions. So here you'll see these are Yuna's classes, and she's got barely any % done on Warrior, Songstress, Black Mage, White Mage. These are all classes we've seen before. But her Gunner is finished. You see there's a little crown icon there now. So if we enter into this menu, you'll see I've actually completed all of these abilities now. So the battle should be a little bit more interesting. I can show you guys how these classes work once they're finished, and then we can start having a look at some of these new ones, like the Gun Mage, which we're about to unlock. Similarly, check out Riku. She has mastered Thief here, and Pain, last of all, has mastered Warrior here. Pretty cool. So yeah, let's have a chat with some people in the temple as well before we leave, see what's going on. This dude stood over some broken Machina. He says it's important to think things through before assembling a machine. Otherwise, you can end up with mystery parts left over at the end. I just intrigued myself there. I called that thing a Machina, even though I'm a human being from the world Earth, just playing a video game. And even in the video game, they're now calling them machines, but I refuse to adopt the new term. It's kind of weird. There's a chest in this area with a nice echo screen. This is a Machina here, just sort of silently standing there. Actually, maybe it's powered down. You got some of those like ski things we saw at Lake Macalania in the previous game, or even in this game, the Albed that were trying to collect debts from Owaka. We're using those. Funnily enough, okay, remember how we had the option when we brought Owaka onto the airship? We could harbour the fugitive, or we could have thrown him over to the Albed. Well, if you throw him to the Albed, he ends up going to the machine faction, and they make him dig for to work off his debt in the desert, which is pretty cool. This guy sleeping on this bed says, huh? Oh, you want to raise? Okay, that was not a yawn. I'm so sorry for that. Over here, you'll find one of the old tutorial machines we used in the previous game to learn about the game. This is the only one that appears in 10.2, and it's got a completely different purpose now. It says, you are not a registered member of the Excavation crew. Please try again once you've completed registration. Thank you. So, like, this is a machine we can go to apply for wages, see our progress, stuff like that. It's a full-on job. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's basically like 3 factions in this game. We've heard of all 3 now, so I'll just be quite candid about it. There's New Yevon, You remember in Bevelle, the guys at New Yevon were talking about some people called the Youth League. We don't really know anything about that yet, but they exist. And lastly, there's this group here called the Machine Faction. Our research area is ahead, and you are no researcher. What? That's the Cloister of Trials. How dare you? Fine, I'll leave. I think there was maybe one chick we didn't talk to in there, but that's fine. There's some really cool stuff later on in the game, guys, where you can set up like cameras all around the world, and I love, and then you can like tune into them from the airship to see what people are doing while you're not there. It's so good. There's a woman in there that's pretty funny. All right, I think that's pretty much it. I don't really want to talk to anyone out here. Let's go find Gipple. I wish you had more time on that screen to see the big floating rocks and stuff out there. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention to you. Someone pointed this out in the comments of, like, the second episode. Oh, I think it's on Yuna's chest, right, that they're talking about. But there's actually, like, a Zanakin symbol. It's the symbol of the Zanakin Abes. It's what Jecht once had on his chest. And I guess, given Yuna's love for Tidus, it sort of makes sense she has some enthusiasm for it and wears it on her attire now. Anyway, check it out. Here's Gipple.
Never been this close to a celebrity before.
That's nice.
I could get used to this.
Let's not.
Well, if it isn't Sid's girl, how you been?
Hey, I have a name.
Huh, brother doing okay?
Same as ever. Buddy's around too.
Same as ever is right.
Oh, you!
Hey, nice to meet you.
Huh?
We're here for the interview.
Right. The interview.
Excuse me? No, you can't do that to us. You can't put, there's something going on there.
You sure you want to dig? Because we're talking about the desert, ladies. Not exactly a picnic.
So if you say fooled you literally won't be able to dig. So we're going to say we're sure.
All right, you're hired. Welcome.
Huh?
You are hired. Don't know why a superstar like you would want to play in the sand.
We're just running around doing stuff, having fun.
Well, do what you gotta do. Anyways, I've done what I can. Dig to your heart's content.
It's that weird bit
Thanks.
where we're just like la-di-da-di-da.
Show this letter to a woman named Nardler. You'll find her in the Bikanel Desert.
Sweet, so we get the key item, letter of introduction.
Happy digging.
Yeah, no worries, Gipple. So yeah, this is like that weird part of the plot where we're just wandering around going la-di-da-di-da, do whatever the hell we want. There's, you know, the motivation is up to the player rather than any serious stuff happening in the story. Something, keep an eye out for something. Maybe you guys can translate. That was always fun in the last series. Good reason to look at the comments at the very least. Oh, the Lady Yuna, you're here to sign up for the dig. What am I saying? Of course not. Hey, look, I can get my hands dirty. This guy lost his nerve. Wow, what a loser. If you have any questions, I suggest you ask them at the temple at the north. Yeah, no, I'm pretty much sorted now. I'm just here to see the site, so I can't offer much in the way of wisdom. This guy says, it's fun just to stand here and watch all the people go by. I'm starting to recognize the faces of the rejects who can't keep coming back to interview. Man, is that like a Japanese thing? Like, if you go to an interview for a job and you miss it, you don't go back over and over again, right? Is there anywhere that really happens? I once build my endurance. Once I build my endurance, they'll have to hire me, this guy says. She says, something in our beds. These days, but something some people do, I don't know. The old lady here says, I came here to drive this dig things everybody's talking about. The dig is on some faraway island. I bet it's simply paradise. Man, I'm so curious about other continents in Spira, because this game just doesn't dive into it, you know? It's like the whole world is just the one continent. Back in the calm arrived, I thought for sure I'd be taking it easy, right? Well, I got sick of easy. It's time I put in the riches doing honest work. Okay. The Albed are currently recruiting people to do work on the Excavation. This dude says this area is run by the Machine Faction, an Albed organization. And lastly, for our efforts of talking to all these lovely people, we get 2 potions. Right, so now we're going to head towards the Moonflow. We will be in the Djose high road just for a second. You could, in theory, walk along it. Maybe Yuna will give us a cutscene here, but I doubt it. Overall, there's pretty much nothing to do here in this chapter. Again, so look, we could use a ride. We'll show it off. Headed for the Youth League headquarters, he says. How about a lift on one of these puppies? Let's do it. I don't know whether this will take us all the way there. But yeah, you know, in general, just this area of the game, there's not much going on, I've got to say. Same as the previous game. There's probably some chests as we move up, but whatever. We'll take a ride back as well. Our goal really right now is to go to the Moonflow. We'll check out that Youth League headquarters stuff shortly, I guess. But okay, so just to recap, make sure everyone's clear. This time we're still gonna do the mission, but instead of talking to Tobley first, we are just gonna help the cart, and this will give us a better item later. It will still give us episode complete and the special dress sphere at the end of the game, and we will not forsake 100% either, because I am on a New Game Plus file where I already have some percent, like as a bit of a buffer. This enemy here you saw just got oversold, and he actually took a little bit more damage before dying. Remember in the previous game how there were overkills? Well, now there's oversouls. I'm not quite ready to explain that to you guys, but it is a really, really awesome mechanic that changes the enemy variety massively. Is sort of a part of a quest-ish kind of thing to get a cool garment grid, and so on. Alright, so this lady here we never talked to before, she says, that Hypello over there sounds like he's in trouble. I'd ask what's wrong, but Hypello take forever to get to the point. So let's see the alternate version of the scene. I will cut the entire mission out, so honestly, do not worry about that.
Somebody, anybody, shave me.
Shave you? Oh, alright. I mean, that's quite intimate, but I'll do it.
Oh no. Bandits, we are under siege.
Were you attacked?
Not yet, but I am very worried.
Well, there have been a lot of bandits around here lately.
I have been here so long, but nobody shaves me.
I hear ya.
I bet you do, Riku.
Well,
Please, I beg you.
We're sphere hunters. And we're kind of busy.
Are we?
Please, please, shave me.
Sorry, but
Maybe just a little while.
Thank you.
Yay, we're not dicks. I love Riku shrugging in the background there. Okay, so yeah, the mission begins. Pretty much exactly the same thing. I'll see you guys for the end cutscene. If I don't get this luggage, I'll be so sad. So sad. Because basically I'll have to do all the machine faction stuff again. Anyway, yeah, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Maybe I can show you guys off the kind of battle stuff we've got. So check it out. We've got a bunch of new thief skills here. This is what the thief learns, alright? Pilfer Gil, which steals Gil from an enemy. This was something you saw in the previous game. Borrowed Time, inflicts stop on an enemy. So I already talked to you guys about what stop does on a previous episode when Boris was casting on us. But if you watch, these guys should be vulnerable to everything. This guy is no longer moving, so Yuna can, in theory, just shoot him in the head. Let's have a look at Yuna's ability. She's got Pot Shot, which is just like a more powerful physical attack. Really not that good, not worth the MP. She's got Cheap Shot, damage an enemy regardless of its defense. So that's really good if you're trying to kill, you know, tanky enemies. Enchanted Ammo, this literally just shoots them, but it's counted as magic damage instead of physical. So if there's an enemy that like absorbs physical damage or something, you can use that instead. Target MP, inflict damage on an enemy's MP. This stops enemies being able to use skills if you get their MP low enough. Quarter Pounder, reduce one enemy's health by a quarter. On the level, deal damage to an enemy according to our experience level, which is very low right now, because when you do a New Game Plus, you keep your items, but your girls will go back to level 1, obviously, otherwise it would be ridiculously overpowered. There's an ability here called Burst Shot, which is critically damage an enemy. Table Turner, deal greater damage to enemies with high defense, so that's like a better version of Cheap Shot. Scatter Shot, which is damage all enemies, or Scatter Burst, which is a final ability, which is critically damage all enemies. I'll show you guys the Scatter Shot here, and it just kills them both outright. So, pretty cool stuff, but because we're low level, we have very little MP, so you can't really cast like many of those high level abilities early on, which is a nice little balance you get. Oh, I do love an escort mission.
We are under siege.
We are under siege. Alright, so let's check out some more of Riku's stuff. She's got Pilfer HP, which is steal health from an enemy. Pilfer MP, steal MP from an enemy. sticky fingers, which is always steal items from one enemy. So if we wanted to steal like this, you know, you've got like a small chance that you won't be able to steal something. Once you get the item, you have it for good and they have nothing else to steal. But there's a chance this will fail. Well, by coming into Flim Flam, there's basically just a guaranteed version. This is sticky fingers. Then there's Master Thief, which is steal rare items from an enemy. So most enemies have both a common steal and a rare steal. And as opposed to in the previous game where you just had like a low chance of getting the rare steal, now you can use Master Thief to get the rare item. Okay, so most enemies have like 2 items you can get, a normal one and then a rare one. Then there's Soul Swipe, which inflicts Berserk on an enemy. This means that they'll constantly attack, do more damage, but it will stop them using abilities. And lastly, this really cool one here called Steel Will, which says cause an enemy to flee from battle. So the thief learns flee herself, but she can use this, and it will make him run away. See? That's basically eject in terms of like how statuses work. So you'll see Riku's back here, and again, we can Steel Will here and finish the guy off. I'll show you guys pain stuff in the next battle, and otherwise then I guess we're sort of done with these classes. Unless you guys want to see more. I mean, I'm open to input from what you guys have to say. Oh god, I almost forgot about you. Alright, so let's have a look at Pain. Pain has got Sentinel, which means that she takes basically no damage. We've seen this before. She's also got this new one here as well that doesn't exist in Swordplay. It's called Assault. This casts Berserk, Haste, Shell, and Protect on the party. Berserk makes us do like 25% more damage, but we will only ever attack. We basically lose control of the girls. But this hastes us as well, so it's an amazing skill. I'll show you guys. Look, she's casting it right now. So it's got a charge on it. It's natural spell. It's not instant activation. And once she casts it, I lose control, but my players go absolutely mental. And their turns charge really quickly. They just blow the crap out of things. I actually kind of like using Assault because it's sort of like a way to play the game on autopilot. But, yeah.
We are under siege.
We are under siege. Oh, no, you don't. You're not even going to get on the cart this time. Alright, and last of all, let's have a look at Pain's swordplay abilities. So she's got the elemental attacks, Flame Tongue, fire damage, Ice Brand, ice damage, Thunderblade, thunder damage, Liquid Steel, water damage, Demi Sword, deal gravity damage to an enemy. So this is like fractional damage. I'll talk to you guys more about that later, but it's like it will do a % of his health. Excalibur, which is like her ultimate ability, I guess, like with one of the really costly ones to learn. This deals holy damage to an enemy. One of the only ways you can get holy easily. Then you've got Power Break, Armor Break, Magic Break, Mental Break. Then finally, Delay Attack and Delay Busters. So these are like time magics. There is no time mage in this game, even though I think it would make a lot of sense. A lot of the time magic is sort of spread out through other stuff. So like, a Delay Buster means you'll do the damage to them, and then it will take them ages to get another go. I'll show you guys what Excalibur looks like at the very least, just animation-wise. It probably won't do anything amazing. It's just holy damage, and these guys are probably not weak to holy, because they're not like undead or anything special, so... But yeah, there you go. Actually, she did manage to kill it. And that's basically the way it works. Also, by having maxed out these classes, it's changed our stats. You'll notice Riku evades a lot, she crits a lot, she hits a lot, just because she's got very high luck, right? And she's also quite quick, while Pain tends to hit harder. Oh my god. Did we get him? And that's not a fiend encounter, is it? Yeah, okay, we got him. That's pretty much it. I'll see you guys at the cutscene. We are under siege. Okay, I'm gonna stop saying it now. Why are Hypello so quotable?
Oh, you've returned.
Thanks to these ladies.
Yep, of course you've been most helpful. With this, the show is just a step away from smashing success. Please accept this as your reward.
So there, you know, the scene, I think it is a bit shorter. It's funny, a lot of the dialogue is the same, but because the kind of character Tobally is, it works. It's weird.
Ooh, a sphere.
Not bad.
Oh, and take this with you two for everything you've done.
We get the circlet accessory. I never really talked about that. I did talk about the Helios Guard.
It's such a good fuzzy feeling meeting reliable people persons such as yourselves. Yes, sirree.
Thank you, everybody. If I can ever help you, just change a word.
You're very welcome.
Just remember, it was the Gullwings that helped you out.
So, now, the main difference, it might not seem like much, but now that Hypello, we helped him just because we wanted to help him. Not because of Toby, but because we wanted to help him. And so now he feels slightly more indebted to us. Later on, when we meet him again, he will give us something where otherwise he would not have. The sacrifice was we missed a tiny bit of % completion that I otherwise don't care about because I'm on New Game Plus. Yay! So, that's pretty much this stuff done. Sorry we spent so long at the Moonflow, I guess, but this is... Not all missions are like this. I'll just qualify this straight away. A lot of it's a lot more basic and simple, but there are weird things in X2 where it is like, okay, there's this one mission, but here's like 3 different items, 3 different outcomes you can get, and so forth. What I'll be doing on my other file as well is I actually never saved the game after I did this mission when we showed it before. So, I'm going to treat that. I'm never going to go to the Moonflow on that file. So, we've seen all 3 outcomes now, you see. You'll get to see me get this item, you'll get to see me get the item for having never come here, and you'll get to see me do all the other stuff too. So yeah, let's board the airship. And hopefully they do well on their show. In case you guys didn't catch it, that's the whole idea there. Tobley's going to try and put on a show there, and he needed supplies. So yeah, let's have a quick chat with Riku here. She says, isn't helping people a nice feeling, and we even snagged a sphere. I still can't tell the iPad apart. Racist! So, we do have a new class. I'm going to change our classes around in a second. But let's go to Bikanel Desert. We did just sign up for the machine faction, so why not check out exactly what's going on? You'll notice that because we did that, it's now become a hotspot. The dialogue does change, by the way, as well. So now that we finished this mission, it says, that guy, the Hypello called Chief, is a serious weirdo. What do you think he's up to? So, you know, stuff does change after you visit there. But yeah, Bikanel Desert is now a hotspot. It says, part-time diggers with Gipple's letters. We're ready to help them excavate that desert. Hold it high and proud. So let's head on in and see what we come up against. Oh my god, I don't think I saved the game. I hope I don't die here. The desert can be a scary place, by the way.
Bikanel Island. This is where the All-Bed's beloved home stood until 2 years ago. Most have moved on, but a handful of All-Beds still live here today. They say countless machina lie buried under the desert sands.
Leave the trailblazing to me.
Alright, Riku, you once lived here. Help us find our way through.
I don't think that sand dune used to be there.
Oh, Riku, no, you're breaking my balls. So this place we only get to come to once in the game. Apparently we're in Bikanel Desert West. It's huge, though. The desert is massive in this game. Riku isn't the best help of all. We do, of course, have fiends to contend with here. As far as I can see, they're actually not that much more deadly than other things. And you'll notice here that even though I've maxed these dress spheres out, it's still best with a lot of the random encounters just to hold down X and spam through. We got a black choker as a reward here. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Right, so we got, what was it? A circlet from that mission just a second ago. So there we go. This circlet raises magic and magic defense by +10. So this is twice as good as what Gipple gave us before. You'll notice I have a bunch of other things here too on my accessories list. This is because it's New Game Plus. I did sell like 99% of my stuff, but I kept some things I want to show you guys anyway. So yeah. Let's just keep following Riku, I guess. Hey, how you doing? It's weird because 2 years ago, Yuna wasn't really with us when we came to the desert. We never got to see her part of the story, right? It's funny as well because no, that's kind of spoilerish. We'll get better perspective on what some of our characters saw and did while they were on the desert without us even knowing in this game. But for Yuna, she never came here, and you'll notice in her little talk about it, she never really references any of her events here. She was here, it was just off screen. We never got to see it, and she certainly doesn't talk about it. Anyway. For what it's worth as well, what we're currently doing, you can just wait and do in Chapter 2 also, like a little bit later on in the game. It won't necessarily cause you to fail and, you know, everything to go to hell just because you didn't go everywhere all at once. I'm just choosing to do it now in Chapter 1 because we were going to Djose anyway. You could just wait. This whole sequence here with us following Riku through the desert, you won't get to see if you wait until Chapter 2. But, I mean, it's it's not the worst thing in the world. Jesus, she just keeps running. This is, like, really dangerous.
Riku, you do know the way, right?
Riku, are we in trouble?
Oh, God, no! Presumably we can get on the airship, though, right? I like how Riku's dressed. You know, some people can just say, oh, you know, they just made her look more slutty in this game. I like to think it's because she's Al Bhed, right? And she's more suited to the desert right now. I guess we're all wearing fairly skimpy clothes. Machina! He says, greenhorns in something sector, probably B15 or whatever that was. Hey, it's Al Bhed! These are the guys that found us. Wow, they talk quick. I barely had time to read that. What did they say? Looks like they something. Looks like they need water. Alright, hey guys. The someone is waiting over there. Alright, and we got another Al Bhed primer, thank God for that. So, welcome guys, we're now at the regular place. Bikanel Desert West, this is their camp, the machine faction camp. This is where you spend most of the time in the desert. The desert encompasses a rather large... Where do I want to save here? I want to save on this, right? Yeah. The desert encompasses a... Actually, just to be safe, I'm going to save up here. Big, like, mini-game place that you can frequently return to in the game that is one of my most fond memories of X-2. Over here you'll find a merchant lady. She says, of the merchants on this island, there is only me. Now then, will you not buy something? Show me your wares. Sure. I believe she sells fiery stuff, so we got watery stuff in Besaid, lightning stuff in the Thunder Plains, fiery stuff here, so the fiery gleam and the red ring. Once again, I feel some of this stuff is useful, so I'm actually going to buy 3 fiery gleams so that everyone has fire strike. That'll be useful against certain bosses later that have weaknesses. I can also afford it now because down in the bottom right you'll see I've got an awful lot of gil. This was something I didn't really want to happen in the LP, but I found no decent way to spend all of that money before creating the New Game Plus, so, you know, whatever. Like, I got a ton because I had to sell all my accessories so you wouldn't see too many of them too early, and yeah, it's all a lot of weird stuff in the background. And some of it's seeping through. Anyway, Nardler's out on a survey right now, this guy says. I think she ought to be back soon, though. This guy says, there's tons of ancient Machina buried out there in the desert. Who's Nardler? Well, Gipple told us to speak to Nardler, right? A long time ago, there was a great Machina battle here. Turned the whole island into a desert, or so they say. Ah, so that's a little bit more history on Bikanel we haven't never had before. And maybe that explains why there's so much Machina in the desert too, beyond just the fact that the Al Bhed tinkerers of the stuff lived here. Okay? I like the idea that maybe as well, I've talked a lot about the idea of doing a prequel game. For what it's worth, if I was going to make like a fan-made prequel of Final Fantasy, I'd build it on the X-2 engine with this class system and this battle system and all this like menu UI and party system and stuff. It would be so good. But I like the idea that this big battle where the island got turned into a desert was like around the same time that Yuna's mother was killed by Sin on the boat, and like I'd start the game off with something like that. That'd be badass. So there's this lady here. She says, the island of Bikanel is covered by a vast desert. Thank you. I didn't see that. Not even we Al Bhed know all the secrets of the sands. Ah, and there are indeed many secrets we will uncover. These babies out here are our something. God, do I keep these in good shape. Sure, I guess he's talking about the hovers. Awesome. I love how much more I can understand Al Bhed this playthrough. It kind of sucked last playthrough. Anyway, here's Pain, Riku. And some guy, hey.
He says they had to move the camp to escape a sandstorm. We could have looked forever and never found it.
Oh, so it wasn't just your incompetence.
Oh!
What?
Sounds like there's a big sandstorm coming in. It's probably too big for the airship to handle.
I guess we won't be leaving the way we came.
So, wait, are we actually full on stuck here now? I never really thought to ask that question before. Are we 100% stuck? So if we come into the save sphere, this will happen. It's not all happy-go-lucky. Yay! Yeah, look, we are stuck. That's amazing. It's not all happy-go-lucky. Travel around the world and you're always free to go back to the airship and whatever. Like, there are, you know, serious moments where we can't do that anymore. The Al Bhed here spend their day surveying the Boundless Desert. Presently, we're surveying the Western Expanse, the Southern Expanse, and the Central Expanse. Which survey results would you like? Now, we haven't actually done any of this just yet, but he says the Western Expanse is a relatively safe region. This made it the natural choice as a site for our base camp. It is also an excellent spot for inexperienced diggers. Sounds a bit like that's where we'll start. The southern expanse contains the oasis and is not particularly a dangerous region. Right now, a sandstorm prevents digging in the area, however. I'll tell you more about the oasis some other time. So we're going to have to wait for that sandstorm to pass, I suppose. The central expanse is so enormous that it's beyond our ability to manage at the moment. Logistically speaking, I guess. It is possible to get to the dig site by hover, but doing all the digging from a hover just wouldn't work. We need something that handles better than a hover to ride while doing the actual digging. But what? Maybe we can help them out with that at some point? That is like an unlockable thing that you can totally miss if you don't do a whole bunch of side stuff. But yeah, this guy over here says, what have we here? Wannabe diggers. We can say yes, absolutely. He says you're going to need Nardler's permission first. So where is Nardler? Well, she's away, right? I'm under the impression we just have to talk a lot. And eventually she'll appear. What if we say no? He says, here on Bikanel, we've got one rule. If you want to eat, you got to work. These are hard people. I guess the merchant person over there. You guys are all chomping at the bit to see me try and open that chest, right? Over here, you could actually try and leave the camp. But they say, not one step more do you ask for disaster to strike you. That would be like going out on our own again and getting lost following Riku. So yeah, there's this chest here. If we try and open it, it says it's locked. So there are locked chests. Wow. This guy says stuff like this always happens. I found this treasure chest in the central expanse. See? But I dropped the blasted key. Oh no, I'm in for another good scolding from Nardler. So this is kind of like one of these things that will be taunting us through a lot of the game. It's like, how do we get into the chest? Well, we'll have to wait. I legitimately don't know how we get Nardler to appear now. What are we supposed to do? Just wander around for a while? These babies, yeah. Oh, there we go. So we're talking... She's back. Wonderful. We just randomly talked to NPCs. That was much easier to do before. Hey! I think she's saying she hates storms there. Hey, so now that Nardler's here, we can go and have a chat. What's up, lady?
I'm busy, so make it fast, okay? I've got lots to excavate and no one to do it.
Uni, show her Gipple's letter.
I've got this letter.
Oh, so you're the new guys.
That's us.
Nice to meet you.
Nice.
I guess the High Summoner's hard up too.
No.
Well, don't be expecting any
No,
special
this isn't
treatment.
about gold. This is
Right.
about adventure.
Let's get to it then.
So this little thing here is called Picket.
Here's where we are. And here is where you're headed.
Oh, but it's so far.
We'll send you out there by hover. Go talk to the pilot about it.
Alright, actually, do you know what? I told a lie, guys. This whole mission doesn't appear if you come here in Chapter 2 alone. It's just the stuff with meeting Gipple and so forth over at Djose. That you can all put off till Chapter 2. So, can you dig it? Dig up the machina parts that Nardler asked you to find in the desert and transport them safely to camp. So, here is how the whole thing works. We're going to talk to this guy. He says, I see you got the okay to dig. Don't let us down. We'll start you out somewhere safe, the Western Expanse. So, we'll head on over. He says, before we head out, let me introduce you to your partner. Got a bit of a mouth from him, so try to be patient. And it's this machina. This is Picket. He says, hey, sweet cakes, nice to meet you. Going a bit Arnold Schwarzenegger there. And so, yeah. We're now in the mini-game straight away. Digging basics, okay? We got to excavate the treasure buried in the vast expanses of the desert. Refer to the guide map for various information. The legend is an X means there's an item there, a yellow X means there's a mission critical item, and the square means that's your hover. So if you have a look up in the top left right now, you'll see that there's 2 yellow X's to the south of us. Well, these could, in theory then, be items we would just get for ourselves. We could go over and check them out. But the mission critical one is to the north of us. This doesn't sound too bad until you realize we have a time limit. So digging tips. Staying out under the scorching desert sun for too long can be dangerous. As soon as you found what you're looking for, head back to the hover before the time limit in the bottom right corner reaches 0. Picket will warn you if you stray too far from the hovers. The gullwings aren't always the only ones out there looking for treasure, so you have to move fast. There's loads of places you can dig in the desert, and depending on where you go, there's all these different events and people and things that will conflict with your efforts, okay? So right now it's very simple. We've got 60 seconds to get the mission critical item and return to the hover. Now there's plenty of time. If we want extra items though, then it could get a bit more interesting. I'm going to try and get a couple more extra items, so we'll see what we do. First, we'll get the mission critical one to the north, then we'll go down. So here we go. Don't wander too far, he says, and the time's begun. So we're going to come up to this yellow X here. This is what we need to finish the dig successfully. And because this is an actual story mission at the moment, it's still a side quest. It's not needed for completion of the game, right? But because it's a story mission, you can get extra rewards for making sure you get this one done correctly. So I'd recommend to you guys, if you're playing with me, to make sure as well you just go for the mission critical one this first time. Those extra items can wait, and they'll always be there. They'll always respawn. You know, it's random what they're going to be necessarily. Oh, Yuna was pretty badass there, just shooting him in the head as Riku was going to try and slice him up. So here we go. We're almost here. Now, just by walking near the X, you'll see Yuna bends down and she gets the item, the attack assembly A. So now we've still got 40 seconds left, and I've noticed there's another item just over here, so I'm going to go for that. Pickett said, sweet, you just got the thing, why don't you come? We're only in chapter 1, so that was a Phoenix down. You can find Albed primers. There's at least one primer per region in the desert, so this is a really good way to learn Albed. While you're in battles, the timer doesn't go down. Wow, does that guy have Death Strike on him or something? How did he just own pain? I'm a bit scared of that now, so I'm escaping. Okay. And she's still dead, so we're going to come over here. We're going to use an item, Phoenix down, pain, and use some potions. Probably next episode, I'm going to start putting people on more interesting classes. I think we'll run triple mage. We'll run gun mage, white mage, and black mage all together, and we'll see how that feels. Anyway, this hover, pick it. Alright, this dig is over. We'll put it on a kind of a fun garment grid that boosts their strength, maybe gives them some interesting gates to go through.
Just what we needed. You're good.
What'd you expect?
Don't let it go to your head. But you did do a good job. Here, your reward.
Yes!
Thank you.
Muchas gracias! Yay, mission complete. So there we go. And we get 100 gil reward, because we're not getting paid very much right now, but after a while we can start working on our wages and so forth. At the bottom you'll see we are in the Sandbox League rank. That'll continue to go up. Failed digs will tick up also. Successful digs will as well. If you fail digs, it's just a counter really. It doesn't really mean very much. We also get a Still of the Night garment grid and an elixir. So I'll show you guys what this garment grid looks like. Now, because this is a New Game Plus, you're going to see loads of garment grids here in my list, because I can't sell them or get rid of them. So I'm just going to try and skip through so there's not too much spoiled. Here we go, so Still of the Night. It's a pretty cool looking shape. It's got 4 gates. By equipping it, it allows us to use Silence and Blind as black magic. By going through the various gates, it grants us immunity to those statuses. So Silence Proof and Dark Proof. Or, if we go through 2 gates at once, we actually get Silence Touch and Dark Touch. So this will apply those statuses on regular attacks. Kind of like the Watery Gleam, right? So yeah, kind of cool. Big stuff will end up happening in the desert to do with the history of it and stuff buried beneath the sands. But for now, chapter 1, that's pretty much all we got. We could continue to dig. Before we leave, I'll tell you guys one thing. Right now, we can only go to the Western Expanse. They're looking at the Central, but they don't know how to do it, and there's a big sandstorm at the Southern Expanse and the Oasis, right, as they said. So you can only go to Western in chapter 1. You could continue digging, get some items, get some Albed primers, get some money. That's fine. What I will warn you, though, is there is something of an oversight in this game, where if you dig way too much, and you might find you end up doing it a lot, because it is quite fun. This is actually something when I was a lot younger and I played the game I dug in the desert way too much. And when you finally get to like the end point of the timeline at the end of the game, if you've dug too much, you've got too many of these like key items, and it means you end up skipping story, and because you skip that story, you end up missing out on 100% completion. So you want to be careful. You can dig pretty much quite a lot, but just do have a bit of moderation. Don't go so crazy with it like I did when I was younger. Anyway, it says, give me a holler when you're ready to go. Personally, I think I'm done here for now. We're going to head back up to the airship, and that's another mission under the belt. Pretty much done with this stuff.
Come back anytime you like. We'll be here.
Thank you, Nardler. Oh, this is kind of funny. I think it's going to automatically... Oh, no. I almost thought it was going to automatically put us on the airship there, but it didn't. So, yeah, that's pretty much the deal down there. We've done most of the stuff now. There's just a couple small areas for us to check out, but we'll be going to the Zanakan Ruins rather soon. Alright, so with that done, I almost just went and showed us the dossiers, and then I realised I'm on New Game Plus, so literally every character in the game almost was up there. I was like, whoa, no spoilers. We'll talk to Riku here. She says, let's go dig again and rake in some serious pocket change. Payne over here says, Yuna, look at me. You do remember that there were sphere hunters, right? Yeah, she just wants to hunt spheres. It's cool. Look, usually you help people out and you end up getting a sphere. Alright, stop breaking my balls, Payne. Because we got a lot of money, we could go pay off Awaka's debts. I'm not going to do that. Let's head over to Buddy here. And our next location... I'm sort of choosing this out of a hat right now. I do have a predefined list on my notepad over here. But I want to go to the Calmlands next. So, what has been going on here? This, again, is another area that has become rather busy in the past 2 years. It says no missions right now, but it also says this is where High Summoners once fought Sin. It's a big tourist attraction now with a lot of games to play too. Let's check it out.
The Calmlands. Many summoners used to cross these plains, their hearts heavy with the weight of their pilgrimage. I was no different, but the Calmlands we knew have changed.